What is going on, Beamer fans? Welcome back to Beamer Review. For today's video, we're going to be going over every single button inside the brand new BMW X3. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, Beamer Review, what we do here is teach you everything there is to know about BMWs. We go over every single hidden tip, trick, and feature in the book. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about your BMW or your BMW X3, feel free to subscribe because we do put out content every single week. And before we get started, we did have these really cool BMW key fob covers. Keep in mind, if you do have a key fob that looks just like this one right here, you can get yourself a really cool BMW key fob cover. We are shipping these all around the US, so definitely make sure you get yourself a pair. Because these key fobs are not cheap, you do not want to break these or scratch these. So definitely check that out at the end of the video. Also, another thing to mention is we are working on a brand new BMW X3 course that goes fully in depth with every single feature. So if you have a BMW X3 on order and you want to use your valuable time to learn everything there is to know about your vehicle before you get it, definitely check out this course. Again, we are currently still working on it at the time of this video, but the link for this is going to be right down below in the next coming weeks. So let's go ahead and get started. We are literally just going to go left to right. So of course we have our door handle. This is going to be how we lock and unlock our vehicle. Over here we have our unlock, we have our lock. This guy, you're probably going to question what this is, but it is going to be related to this vent that you see right over here. This is going to be how open that air vent is going to be. You can tell by this little green light that is going to light up this white little line that we have here. So if I go all the way down, that means the vent is closed. If I go all the way up, that means the vent is fully open. So that is going to be the new way to control our vent. And then right down here, pretty important, once you have your BMW app set up, once you have your driver ID set up, then you can go ahead and save your seat settings. The way you do that is you want to press set, and then you want to light that up red, and then you want to press 1. So literally press set and then press 1 to go ahead and save your seating. Keep in mind that if you have your own BMW ID, you yourself can have 2 different settings for that one ID. Moving right down here, we have our door controls. So our door controls are all right here. These are going to be for the windows. They are all automatic. Right over here, we have our child lock for the windows. Over here, we do have our side mirror controls. So our side mirror controls is going to be obviously our side mirror right there. So this is the selector for which side mirror we want to adjust. If you have it on the left one, we of course have our left side mirror right here, and then you can go ahead and use the circular dial to go ahead and move around your side mirror to get it to the perfect position. While we are talking about the side mirror, again, I do apologize, the vehicle just came out the truck, so it's quite dirty at this moment, but this little triangle that we see right over here, that will turn yellow, indicating that some vehicle is going to be inside your blind spot. So keep that in mind. That is what that triangle is going to be for. And yes, right over here, right on top, that is going to be how we can close our side mirrors if we needed to quickly go into our garage and not hit anything on the sides. So that closes both of the side mirrors. You can see on that side, it just closed it as well. So that's what this guy can do. Over here, we have our trunk. Push down to open up your trunk. The tricky part is that you have to hold it up the entire time to close the trunk. So keep that in mind. You have to hold it up the entire time for the trunk to fully close. It is a BMW safety features that they have in all their SAVs. So definitely take note of that. Right down here, we have 2 different cubbies that we can use for whatever. I take that back. We actually have a third new one, which is going to be this little triangle piece right over here. So it does look like we have 3 different cubbies right down here. BMW did move their latch for their hood. So now for all the newer BMWs, they are going to be moving it from this section here to right underneath here on the left side. You're going to feel a handle that you have to pull on twice to get the hood to open. So the hood release is going to be right down there. For our air vent that we have here, this is how you can control the flow of it. And then this right here is going to be how you can control the actual vent. Located right down here, hidden on the bottom left side. Moving right along to the cool steering wheel. Now, BMW's new design for the steering wheels do feel really cool to the touch. They are coming out in a more thick design, which does feel quite nice. It does take a little bit getting used to, but it does feel really good once you get used to it. So let's go ahead and get started for the steering wheel. So for our steering wheel, everything that's cruise control related is all going to be right here. The BMW X3s have 2 different cruise controls. You're going to have one where it's just your standard cruise control, no adaptive radar or anything. If you do have the package that comes with the adaptive cruise control stop and go feature, you're going to be activating that by pressing on this mode button there. The on and off switch for cruise control is going to be this guy right over here. This is the on and off switch for cruise control. This is to set the speed limit of the road that you are currently on. And then right down here is going to be mode. But keep in mind, you do have to have that optional package in order to get the different cruise control modes. So that is how you activate this guy. On the right side, we have our multimedia controls. This is going to be the volume knob, volume down, volume up. This gear icon is very handy. You want to play around with this one a lot. Press on that and then you can activate these 3 boxes that you can play around through. And then the first box changes the content on the instrument cluster. You can go down to see all the different options. If I want to switch over to where it says layout on the right, just push on this to the right and then it jumps over, and then you can change the different layouts of the instrument cluster as well. And right down there on the right, if your BMW has the heads-up display or the head-up display, you can change the layout for that too. It's kind of hard to see, but yes, you can change the layout of your heads-up display also. And all that was in the gear icon. The other feature that this button can do is on the heads-up display, you can see some pretty cool radio stations that pop up there. You can control through your radio stations and presets all by using the scrolly knob, so you can keep your eyes on the road. Over here we have media. If you wanted to switch through your different media sources, that's what you would press on to do that. Our phone button here, you would think that you would press on this to make phone calls. It's quite different. So for BMW, if you're receiving a phone call, you want to push on this to accept the call. And then if you are on a call and then you want to hang up the call, you can push on this during a call and then it will deactivate the call or hang up the call. Microphone here is going to be very, very, very useful. Probably the most important feature on the steering wheel, in my opinion. This is going to be our voice command. Now, there's 2 different voice commands that your BMW may have. We first have our BMW Personal Assistant, which is our BMW voice command that can do some pretty cool things like roll down the windows or even change the temperature, turn on the heated steering wheel, turn on the heated seats, go to whichever radio station. That is all done by tapping on this microphone button once. Keep that in mind. You have to tap on it once to get your BMW voice command. And if you want to get Siri or Google Assistant, depending on whichever phone you have for Android Auto or CarPlay, you would have to hold this down. So if you hold this down, then you would get Google Assistant or Siri if you were to hold this down. So again, 2 different ways to use it. Tap on it once to get the BMW voice command, controls the car. Hold it to get Siri or Google Assistant to control your phone, to make phone calls and text messages and everything phone related. Going right behind the steering wheel, we have some paddle shifters here. Most of the time we're not using this too much, but this is what you would push on or pull on to go through your gears just like you would a standard car, such as first gear, second gear. You can upshift on this side and then you can downshift on this side if you want a more sporty feel to your X3. Over here on the right, we have our wiper controls. And for our wiper controls, if you do 1 notch up, you can go into auto mode or rain sensing mode. And so that is how you know it is in rain sensing mode. Right here controls the sensitivity or the speed of your wipers. And if you go up, you can go into a manual mode, or you can go into a manual fast mode if you go up higher. If you wanted to move the wiper on your rear glass way back there, what you would have to do is twist on this. So if you twist it, then it will go ahead and activate the back wiper on the back glass. And then if you twist it even further, it will shoot fluid in the back to clean the glass. Also keep in mind, if you pull on this, it will shoot fluid for the front to clean off the windshield. So that is how you control your wipers, all by using this guy here. Everything on the left, our turn signal. I know what we're going to say. Many BMW drivers do not know what a turn signal is, but I do want to say that we are getting better at it. So props to us. Our turn signal stick, you can hold down and then it will keep your turn signal on for a longer time or until you toggle it back up. If you want to do a quick 3 blink, you can just tap on this down once and then it will do 3 blinks, or you can go up and then it will do 3 blinks to the right, or hold up and then it will hold that turn signal to the right. So our new headlight controls are all going to be right here. There's 3 different buttons. We have our headlights off right over here. If you were parking in your garage or if you're trying to hide from somebody, you can just turn off your headlights there and then that will turn off your headlights. And then right over here with this little dial, you can go up to turn on your headlights or your low beams. And then if you go down, it goes into auto. You want to make sure that this green light is on for auto. That is probably where 95% of us are all going to want to be with this green light on. It will indicate that it is an auto. And then over here on the left, you have your headlights menu. So if you click on that, it brings up your headlights menu right over here on this screen. The biggest thing to know about this is that if you want automatic high beams on, that is going to be this little switch here. So that would be how you turn on your automatic high beams, which is really, really useful at nighttime. So those are going to be our headlight controls, all located right over here. Now let's go ahead and go to the instrument cluster. So for our instrument cluster, let's start from left to right. So right over here on the left side, we have our gas gauge. So this 52 lets us know how many miles we can drive before our tank is empty. And then you will see this white line located right here that goes all the way to the right. And then right down here, we do have our time. You can set that to be auto. So once you have your ID set up, go ahead and change your date and time to be auto, and then you never have to worry about this again. We have our mile per hour gauge located right over here. And then we have our center content. This part of the screen you can change. Again, the way that we did that earlier was we clicked on this gear icon, and then you can scoot over to the left side and then go ahead and change your different icon or your content located right there in the middle. I tend to keep mine on music just so I can see what type of music I am playing. So yes, this part of the screen is customizable. Over here on the right, it lets us know what gear we are in. And over here on the farther right, we have our engine power, or how much power of the engine we are currently using. It goes by percentages. It's 25%, 50%, 75%, 100% if you're flooring it. This little battery gauge, all BMWs are getting a mild hybrid system where they do have a smaller battery within the vehicle. That kind of works like a hybrid, but not really. It is a really small one that can help power things like the headlights and all the lighting within the vehicle. Right down here on the bottom middle, it lets us know who's not wearing their seatbelt. So yes, over here, it lets us know who's wearing their seatbelt, who is not. And over here, it lets us know what is the speed limit for the current road that we are on. Over here, we have our outside temperature. And in far right corner, on the bottom right here, we have our engine oil temperature. It lets us know if the vehicle is warm or not. So that is going to cover this side of the X3. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the center. All right, so over here on the center of the screen, we have our BMW iDrive 9, which does take a little bit getting used to, but I'm going to show you how you can easily navigate through this. So on our home screen, this is our BMW home screen, or X3's home screen. If you were to press this guy right down here called home, if you press home, it brings you to this screen. So if you're ever lost in your BMW, all you have to do is just press home right down here, and then it will always bring you to this screen here. So located right here on the left, this is going to be our widget box. You can cycle through this if you go up and down, and then you can go through different types of content here, and then you can choose whatever you want. You can also add and remove them. Keep in mind, for some of these boxes you can go left and right. So yes, this is going to be our widget box. You can't move this around. This is going to be here at all times, so feel free to customize this however you like. Personally speaking, I do like to keep my trip computer here, so it lets me know how far I am driving. Over here on the right, we have this part of the screen called the stage. You can change this around to whatever you want. A lot of people may have a hard time seeing it, but over here there is a hidden white line. If you go to the left like that, you can change through different types of content here. Again, once you have your BMW ID set up, you can unlock a few other ones too. So again, all that was through this little white line here that is kind of hidden. That is how you can change around the stage to a different piece of content. On the top here, you're going to have your shortcuts menu. So before, BMW used to have their 1 through 8 numerical buttons that you could preset to a radio station or any function within the BMW. They kind of still have that. They just changed it into this new look called the shortcuts. And then just to repeat myself, the way that I got there was dragging down on this little white line that you saw way up there. You can program whatever shortcut you want by simply just clicking and holding on your favorite radio station, and then it'll give you the option to add the shortcut. So that is how you populate this whole section here. You have 4, you can have up to 8 once your BMW ID is set up. Over here we have things like alerts, what radio station is currently on. We have our volume button, BMW ID profile, and our time. Going right down here on the bottom is going to be our main controls. So over here, starting from the left, we do have our temperature control. You can just simply click on this and then it'll go up and down to the temperature. A big trick to know about is going to be this little piece right here. So if you want to activate your heated seat or your heated steering wheel, that is what you would push on to get your controls for your heated seats and heated steering wheel. Moving right along to the middle here, this is going to be our main buttons here, where if you wanted to go to music, that musical note is what you would push on. If you wanted to go to your GPS, that map is what you would push on. Climate is going to be this guy here. And again, our home button is going to be this guy here. And if you are ever lost in your BMW, just click on this home guy, you can come back to the screen. Our settings is going to be here. And over here on the right, that is going to be our telephone. If you wanted to make phone calls and all that, or go through your contacts, that's where you would go for that. So let's start from the left. Over here we have our music, and our music is going to have all of our radio stations. If you have a new BMW, they do come with a 1-year trial of Sirius, so keep that in mind. Over here we have our maps, and then if we click on maps, it brings up the BMW map. If you have Apple CarPlay connected or Android Auto, you can also use that button to navigate to your Google Maps or Apple Maps or even Waze. So everything that is navigation related is all going to be right there. Over here, third one to the left is going to be our climate. This one is going to be a huge one because you will find yourself going through here a lot. So here you have your fan speed. Here you have your climate control on off button. You have your recirculation here, which you can just set this to auto, set it and forget it. And then over here you have your max AC button, which will quickly cool down the car if it is super hot. It'll drop the temperature all the way down, and then it will bump up the fan speed all the way up to quickly cool down the car. Auto is going to be right here. The majority of BMW buyers tend to keep it in auto and then just adjust the temperature. But if you do want manual control of your BMW, just click on this guy here and then it brings you into the manual mode. So whenever you're in your manual mode for your BMW Climate, this is going to be how you can control the airflow. This is airflow to the top, right over here. This is airflow to the upper chest, to your upper torso. And then this is gonna be airflow to your bottom. So that is gonna be how you control your directionals the new way. AC button, as long as you have your BMW in auto, you don't have to worry about AC too much. Just focus on control your temperature, and then the vehicle will do its own job of controlling the AC button there. And then if you wanted to sync these two temperatures together, say for example, if this one was too high or too low, and then you wanted to match to that 75, just push the sync button there, and then that will go ahead and match the driver temperature. And then it will keep it in sync the whole way too. Home button, again, we mentioned, if you're ever lost, just go home. Settings is gonna be right over here. We're not gonna dive through all this stuff, but again, our course is gonna be doing just that. So if you were interested on knowing what all this stuff can do, definitely check that out once we have a chance to finish it all up. These are gonna be all the different settings. The biggest one is gonna be mobile devices, because that's where you may go first or second to connect your phone. And then the other one you may be going to a lot, or just in the beginning, is going to be BMW ID. That is where you would go to set up your BMW ID. It's going to do change profile, and then there should be a way to add the profile right there. That is how you do that. And then the other biggest thing to mention about the settings right over here is that this magnifying glass is what you would push on to search for whichever setting you're trying to look for. So say for example, if you're trying to change the height on your heads-up display, just type in display, and then it will bring up the menu item display located right there. Click on that, and then you're going to see heads-up display located right over here on the left. So that is how you do that. Again, this little 4-square guide there was all just climate control settings over here on the right. And then so once you click on phone, you're going to see your phone app pop up here, where you can see your favorites, you can see your contacts, you can check your voicemail, etc. So that is going to cover this side of the curved display. Moving right down, we have our vents. Just like on the driver's side, this is how you open and close the vents. We have our hazard lights right there. It is all touch. Our two climate control buttons that are going to be on the outside are going to be our two defrosters. So this is defroster for the front. This is defroster for the back. So keep that in mind. These two are not going to be in the climate control button there. They are going to be on the outside, your two defrosters. We have a really cool air vent here. It looks really nice, really sleek. And this is going to be our directionals to control the vent, whichever way we want to go, up, down, left, or right. Over here we have our cubby. You may have a wireless charger on the left side of your cubby here. There is a slight little cutout here which does enclose a fan, which will help keep your phone nice and cool. So there is a built-in fan right behind this little cutout here. You can't see it. But this left side of the cubby is where you would charge your phone. Place it flat. Keep in mind, if your case is too thick, it may not charge that, so watch out for that. 2 USB-C ports. All the new phones are going to be coming out with USB-C, so the vehicle is future equipped to handle that. Over here on the bottom, we do have our 2 cup holders to hold your nice cold sodas or waters. Now moving right down here, we have our main center console. Our engine start-stop is going to be this little guy right here. Our shifter to go into drive, reverse, or neutral is all going to be right here. Keep in mind, if you want to go to drive, you got to keep your foot on the brake, and then you got to go down to go into drive. If you want to go into reverse, push up hard, and then that goes into reverse. If you want to go into neutral, give it a soft click down, it goes into neutral. And then if you see this little S guy here, you're probably not going to be in that mode a lot, but if you're in drive, and then if you wanted to go into like a sporty transmission mode, you can push down on drive one more time, and then that will go into the sport transmission mode, which does do some more aggressive shifting. You can also use a sport mode to go into manual mode to use your paddle shifters here and here. The majority will not be doing that. Our park and emergency brake button is going to be the same thing here. This is what you would push on to park the car. Keep in mind, if you're in reverse or drive, if you just turn off your car, the vehicle will automatically park. So that will save you one little step from going from here to here to here. You can just go from you can just turn off the car and then it will just go in and park all by itself. It won't do it if you're in neutral, so watch out for that. Down here we have auto hold, which is a brake holder. If you have this pushed in, whenever you come to a full stop, you can take your foot off the brake and then the vehicle will still stay in place. It's great to use if you're going up a hill and then you don't want the car to roll backwards, or if you're in an area where it requires you to keep your foot on the brake a lot, you can just push on that and then you just take your foot off the brake, and then while you're still in drive, the vehicle will still hold. It's pretty cool. Try it out. Over here on the right, we have our main buttons here. If you want to go into nav or maps, that's where you push on. Telephone goes into your telephone to activate your contacts or make phone calls. Media goes into whatever current media is playing, and then our lovely home button is going to be right there. Our back button to go back a screen, which is also useful, is going to be that little guy on my thumb right here. It goes back a screen, so if you do end up clicking in the wrong spot, that is what you would push on to go back a screen. Controller here controls the whole screen, so yes, you can touch through your screen here, but if you are driving, it can be easier to just navigate through your screen just by using this little dial here. You can turn on this, you can push on it to select something, and then yes, you can tilt this too. So if there was different sections on the screen, say for example we got a section here, we got a section there, you can tilt this down to go to this section here, or you can tilt this up, this middle section here, or you can tilt it up one more time to activate the shortcuts menu that we saw on the top. So yes, the screen may have different sections that you can't always get to, so tilting this dial left, right, up, or down is going to be how you can tilt around to the different sections of the screen. Over here we have our parking assistance button. If you click on this, if your vehicle came with a package called Parking Assistance Plus or Pro, it will bring up the 3D view or bird's eye view that you see located right over here. This is also going to be the button that you push if you wanted to activate the function where the car could park itself. You can see that it is already searching for a spot. Now if we were to drive up past an empty spot, the vehicle will prompt us here on the right saying, hey, do you want to park your car and then reverse into that empty spot that you just passed? And then you can go ahead and push on that, and then the vehicle will automatically park itself. You are allowed to keep your foot on the brake to go nice and slow, so you don't have to release the brake completely. The system does a good job of parking. It does a great job of detecting lines and cars, but you do want to be wary of curves because some curves may be too high or too low, so just watch out for that. There are different functions here on the left as well, so definitely check out those as you are playing around. If you don't have this package, Parking Assistance Plus, you are gonna just have your rear view camera here along with some sensors that you see here on the right. Moving right down here, we have our driving settings menu. So if I were to click on that, you can see some driving settings here if you wanted to change the feel of your vehicle, or turn off things like your safety controls for your lane departure, turn off iconic sounds, or turn off your heads-up display. You can do that all through this driving settings button located right here. BMWs in the past, they have always had their sport, comfort, and eco modes. That is going to be hidden in this little My Modes button here now. If you click on that, you're going to see your modes located all right here. You can tell your BMW voice command to go to whichever mode too, which is easier. But yeah, if you wanted to go into sport, just click on sport, efficient, or eco pro is right there. They got these newer modes called Expressive, Relax, and Digital Art. So this is how you can cycle through your different modes inside your X3. Here on the right, we have our volume knob. You can go up and down to increase or decrease the volume. You can skip tracks or radio stations with these two buttons here on the right and left. And then you can mute your audio if you were to just push on this down. Also, cool hidden trick, if you have the engine running and hold this button down for about 30 seconds, it will do a soft reboot for the screen. So if you have a frozen screen or any glitch trying to connect to your phone, definitely give that a shot. Just hold that down for about 30 seconds with the engine on, and then that will just do a nice little refresh for the computer here. It solves a ton of issues. We use it here all the time, so keep that in mind. Here is just going to be our cubby where we have our storage, and over here we do have our garage controls. There is a way to program that. We do have a video of this, so if you need to see a video on how to set up your garage door buttons here, feel free to let me know, and I will link it down below. Up here we have our SOS. Hopefully you don't need that, but new BMWs do come with a limited time roadside assistance, which you can activate through your SOS right here. We have our interior camera here. You can use that for taking selfies, or if somebody stole your car, this camera will take a nice picture of them too and put them in jail. Over here we have our lighting menu that pops up this screen here. On the screen you can control your lights all through this screen here, so you don't have to go reaching in the back. So that is our lighting menu. That was this guy there. Over here we have a reading light for the driver's side. And over here on the passenger side, we have our reading light for the passenger as well. The new X3 does have some changes on the sunroof. You can still slide that back to open up the shade. And it does go way in the back. They did make it slightly bigger. Okay, maybe a lot bigger. Wow. But the downside of the new sunroof is that you can no longer open up the glass. They did do some research and found that many consumers are not opening up their glass, so it does not make sense to go forward to have the whole mechanism to open up the glass. So this slider is just mainly for the shade, and then you can slide it back forward to close the shade, or if you just want it to be partially open, just give that a click and then it'll just be partially open. And lastly, for our glove compartment, if you wanted to open up that, there's this little button right there that opens up the glove compartment. If you want to lock it, there is a manual key hidden inside your BMW key fob that you can open up by pushing on this button there, and then you can lock your glove box by inserting that manual key into this slot right there, and then turning that, and that will go ahead and lock your glove compartment. All right, everyone, hopefully this video helped you out. I think I covered every single button. If I did miss one, go ahead and comment down below and call me out, and then I will go ahead and answer that question. I hope this video helped you guys all out. There are a ton of different gadgets and features within this vehicle. Again, if you want to go into more depth, check out the course where we spend a lot more time going through every little feature within the vehicle. Check out the key fob covers right down below as well. We are going to be restocking soon. But yes, if you all had any questions about the X3, comment down below. I will do my best to get back to you. I am slightly behind, so I am trying to catch up to all the different comments. So I do apologize if I don't quickly get back to you. But hopefully, again, this video helped you out. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel, like the video, and then share it with whoever else may have a new X3 or are waiting for one. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all for the next one.